Well, Russ, well done. It was a very good win the other night.
Yeah, good win, good performance after the events that unfolded last Saturday. Very emotional on and off the field, so delighted with the 3 points first and foremost, but to have the performance on top was great.
And I thought maybe when Boston got one back, it could have been a different game, but fair play, you closed it out.
Yeah, I think it's always edgy at this level because the games are so tight. They scored at a good time with 15 minutes to go, but I think 3 or 4 minutes later we kind of sealed it, which kind of put the game to bed. Was relieved because I thought, right, we haven't conceded many goals of late, and sometimes you forget what it feels like and you forget what to do. So listen, we were very proactive after they scored, and we got the just rewards of another goal.
I know Ashley Hemmings contributes in all sorts of ways, really, but good for him to get a goal.
Yeah, it was. Listen, his work doesn't go unnoticed at our football club. He's set a lot up this season and he scored a lot of goals. By his standards, he's probably disappointed he hasn't scored more regularly in the last month. But he's still there. He still puts the effort in. He works hard. His performances are up there, and his standards are very high. So delighted for him as well.
And it means you're still very much on the coattails of the top two.
Well, that's what we try to do. Listen, we can only look after ourselves and focus on the next game. And if we keep chipping away and winning games, then we can't do much more really. We've got a lot of games to play. There's a lot of points up for grabs. But like I say, one game at a time, you can only win the next game, and that's what we'll try and do on Saturday.
And the next one, in some ways, will be a very different challenge, I guess. Obviously, Farsley are struggling a bit this season, but if there were 3 teams going down, you might almost think if you're bottom now, well, it's going to be a long way back. But only one team going down, they've still got every chance of getting out of it.
Yeah, it's very tight down there. I think there's 4 or 5 involved in it still. They've got the new manager in Russ Wilcox, who I've worked under, so I know what Russ will bring to the camp. He'll be very professional and he'll make them a lot more resolute. Listen, I've seen their playing surface, and it's got to be a real big level on Saturday, and we've got to roll our sleeves up and deal with those conditions. If we do and add our quality with it, we'll be fine.
Yes, the pitch, with all due respect to Farsley, isn't the finest, I think we can say.
It's not, and I'm not trying to put excuses here. This is what every manager's saying, including their own. So. But we've got to go there. Everyone's got to go up there, and it's got to be very Kettering-esque from a month ago, and we've got to deal with it. No excuses, no complaints. We'll just go up there and hopefully get the job done. I
saw you at Telford, and there was nothing wrong with the pitch at Telford, I hated to add, but I mean the character you showed there, because that was a battle in pretty dreadful conditions because of the weather that day.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of really tough conditions for all teams in the league in the last 2 to 3 weeks. We've had bloody 3 or 4 storms to deal with. So great character from our boys. If we can't win the game, try not to lose it. And we've been ticking over nicely. And not all performances are going to be what they were on Tuesday night. A free-flowing goal scored. You've got to grind things out sometimes, and we've been doing that also.
Just a word about Matt Preston. Obviously, first time we've spoken since the awful incident happened. I saw just before I left home today on social media, his mum was pushing him in a wheelchair out to get some fresh air. Have you had the chance to speak to him? How's he doing?
Yeah, we've spoke. Listen, he's had a lot of. He's been inundated with a lot of phone calls and a lot of get well wishes. I think it's the first time today he's seen his mum and sister, so I think he'll be in a lot better place now. So will she, and we're in constant dialogue with them, and he's in a good place. He's got another operation at the end of the week, and once that's done, hopefully we can get him home.
I mean, clearly Harriers are going to do your bit as well, but of course he's a Solihull player technically, so presumably you go along with what their plans are.
Yeah, listen, we as a pair we're looking after him, and I think that's the best way to do. We've got a good relationship with Solihull, and but like I said, he's their player for the next 18 months, and they'll look after him, and we'll chip in when needed. In
terms of your squad for the weekend, how are you looking?
All good. Hopefully, we'll have a clear view on Bajrami tomorrow. And hopefully, if that's a tick, then that's a plus for the football club. So, but we'll go with what we've got. A few strains from Tuesday night, but nothing spectacular. So, as opposed to today, there was a fully fit squad. What is the problem with Gerardo Bajrami? He's just got tendinitis, it's a nose more than anything. But he can't play with it. He's got a very high pain threshold anyway, so it must be bad if he can't get up and about. But it's slowly dying down, and hopefully, either the next game or the game after, it'll be fine. Obviously, it's going to be pretty full on, isn't it, now between now and the rest of the season? So Saturday, Tuesday, a lot of weeks really. Yeah, there is, but that's the same for everybody. I think we've caught up most of our games now, and there's teams who are behind us in games as well, with the FA Trophy and the cancellations over the last 2 weeks. So we're in a good place in terms of fixtures. if we're tired, so is everybody else. So that's how I see it. We've got a couple of free weeks coming up, which will be nice. Get some bodies back, get the recovery into everybody, and really hit the ground running going into April and May.
You must be pleased with the character of your squad, really, because if you go back to the turn of the year, you beat Reading, which obviously is a tremendous high. Then you've got 7 games between then and you're playing West Ham, and you have to keep your focus through that. We all know what happened against West Ham. That was hugely disappointing, but again, you could bounce back from that. Then you have the Matt Preston thing, and they win again the other night. So it shows a lot of spirit, a lot of character there.
Well, it does. We'll reflect on it at the end of the season. But when we sign players and recruit it at the start of the season, we don't just recruit good players, we like to recruit good people. And if they can dip into what we're trying to do here, me and Jim and the owner, then it's a win-win really. Confidence is big, obviously, and we're winning games at the moment, so that helps me. But the lads are driving it themselves, and they want to achieve success here, and by doing that, they've got to work hard and grind these results out. Playing well or not playing well, you've just got to keep picking up points, and they're doing that at the moment.